Hello friends, I'm here with another presentation on environmental pollution. Pollution is the introduction of contaminants into the environment that cause harm or discomfort to humans or other living organisms. Pollution is damage to the environment which can come in the form of chemical substances or energy such as noise, heat or light. Pollution earlier was not a serious problem as long as there was enough space available for each individual or a group. However, with the establishment of permanent settlements by a great number of people, pollution became a problem and it has remained one ever since. Environmental pollution is one of the most serious global challenges. Environmental pollution, the addition of any substance, whether it is solid, liquid, or gas, or any form of energy, such as heat, sound, or radioactivity, to the environment at a rate faster than it can be dispersed, diluted, decomposed, recycled, or stored in some harmless form. Environmental pollution is the buildup and accumulation of toxic heavy metals in the air, water, and land that reduce the ability of the contaminated sites to support life. Environmental pollution can be caused by natural events, that is, forest fires and active volcanoes, anthropogenic sources, that is, human activities. The presence of environmental pollution raises the issue of pollution control. Great efforts are made to limit the release of harmful substances into the environment through air pollution control, wastewater treatment, solid waste management, hazardous waste management, and recycling. What are the various types of environmental pollution? Pollution can be of water pollution, it can be of air, it can be of land. Modern society is also concerned about specific types of pollution such as noise pollution, light pollution, plastic pollution. Pollution of all kinds can have negative impact on the environment, wildlife, and often impacts human health and well-being. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually as a result of human activities. Water bodies include, for example, lakes, rivers, oceans, aquifers, and groundwater. Water pollution results when contaminants are introduced into the natural environment. Water pollution can be of various types like groundwater pollution and surface water pollution. They are the main two types. Surface water pollution, it includes water that is found naturally on the earth's surface, that is surface water. They include lagoons, rivers, oceans, and lakes. Contamination of such water features results from the dissolving or mixing of water with pollutants. It can be accidental by oil spills in the ocean. It can be intentional by eliminating the wastes from industries into rivers or sea. Groundwater pollution, it occurs when the hazardous chemicals and particles applied on the surface by humans seep into the ground by rainwater. The contaminants pollute underground water features such as underground rivers and waterbeds. As a result, wells and boreholes might become contaminated. The most common cause of this type of pollution is the use of pesticides and fertilizers. Point and non-point sources of water pollution. Point sources contamination when originates from a single source. For example, wastewater, which is also called effluent, it is discharged legally or illegally by a manufacturer, oil refinery, or wastewater treatment facility, as well as contamination from leaking septic tanks, chemicals and oil spills, and legal dumping. The EPA, it regulates point source pollution by establishing limits on what can be discharged by a facility directly into a water body. While point source pollution originates from a specific place, it can affect miles of waterways and ocean. Non-point sources where contamination is derived from diffuse sources. These may include agriculture or storm water runoff or debris blown into waterways from land. Non-point source pollution is the major cause of water pollution, but it's difficult to regulate since there is no single identifiable culprit. Now are the sources and effects of water pollution. The water pollution, it can be of transboundary pollution. Most types of pollution affect the immediate area surrounding the source. Sometimes the pollution may affect the environment hundreds of miles away from the source, such as nuclear waste. This is called transboundary pollution. Other types of pollution related to water are chemical pollution, nutrient pollution, oxygen pollution, microbiological pollution, suspended matter, etc. Now, are the causes of water pollution? Water is uniquely vulnerable to pollution. It is a universal solvent. Water is able to dissolve more substances than any other liquid on the earth. This is why water is so easily polluted. Toxic substances from farms, towns, and factories readily dissolve into it and mix with it and cause water pollution. Human activities that generate domestic sewage and toxic waste cause water pollution by contaminating water with disease causing microorganisms and poisonous substances. Various effects of water pollution. Pollution of water affects both humans and aquatic life. Most water sources close to cities and urban centers are polluted by garbage and dumping of chemicals, legally or illegally. Some of the common as well as adverse effects of polluting water bodies are the effects can be on human beings. First, in 2019, it stated that 785 million people lack access to essential drinking water, and main effects were diseases. The WHO notes about 120,000 cholera related deaths annually. The Fukushima tragedy increased the prevalence of thyroid cancer in exposed infants by 70%. Aquatic life may be damaged by the effects of water pollution. Animals and plants that depend on water for life are the most affected by polluted water. In the report, the 2010 spill on the Gulf of Mexico harmed over 82,000 birds, 25,900 marine animals, 6,165 sea turtles, and an unknown number of fish and invertebrates. Food chain can also be disrupted by the effects of water pollution. Pollution disrupts the food chain by moving the toxins from one level in the chain to higher levels, which is biomagnification. In some cases, pollution can wipe out an entire part of the food chain, such affect the other organisms by either causing excessive growth in case the predator dies or death. Destruction of ecosystems can be another effect. The introduction or elimination of certain microorganisms distort the ecosystem. Nutrient pollution, for example, leads to an increase in algae, which depletes the oxygen of water, thereby leading to the death of fish and other aquatic life. There can be economic effects also. Managing and restoring polluted water bodies is very expensive. As for example, Japan in 2019 declared that it is running out of space to contain the contaminated water after the Fukushima disaster. It currently has over a million tons of contaminated water stored in tanks. Research shows that it will cost at least $660 billion to clean up the effects of disaster. So, concluding the essentiality of water, water is an essential natural resource for the life of all living things, and irresponsible behavior in the part of humanity affects all the other beneficiaries. Consequently, there is a need to protect water bodies from deliberate pollution. So, let's save environment by giving a halt on the pollution of water, air, or land. And in next slide or presentation, I will discuss about more pollutions of environment, air, land, etc. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.